So I've followed Chris Gore for a long time, for many, many years. He does a great job of what he does, covering films. In fact, his channel Film Threat on YouTube is worth your subscription. Hopefully you're already subscribed. Not to mention the fact that I get the opportunity from time to time to interact with him here on YouTube and obviously by extension other platforms. He's brilliant and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to cinema. And he talked me into a little known film, although I would say it's probably more well known now, RRR. This is an incredible film coming out of India by a writer and director, S.S. Rajamouli. Now, I apologize in advance. I'm going to mess up all of these names, and I'm quite unfamiliar with how to pronounce any of this. But I will say this. The film, despite being full of subtitles, which means you have to read, and some musical numbers that some people may not feel are necessary, all of this film is incredible. It's probably the best 3 hours and change that you'll spend, and I think I'll tell you why. Here we go. One of the things that I don't do here on my channel is movie reviews, and this is going to be few and far between for me. Originally, that's what part of this channel was going to be. I was pretty stoked with the idea of being able to virtually, with a, VTuber type character, talk about films and the problems with them, not only from obviously the quality, the writing, etc., but also from the business side of things, which seems to be what I focus on here on this channel. Well, when it comes to the occasional film that I will be reviewing on the channel, I'm glad one of them is this film. This period piece was set in 1920, and it has some historical relevancy, and it's tied to history in a very fantastical way, and that's probably the best way to describe it. A fantastical period piece. It's quite enjoyable, beginning to end. The introduction of the characters initially is stunning, along the same lines as the very first Indiana Jones film, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not the only person to make that comparison, I will admit, it's something that Chris Gore actually said, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. When you are introduced to one of the amazing characters in this film, you will see that moment as well. One of these scenes took forever to shoot. I have heard as long as 30 days, and it's a character introduction segment that I'm speaking about. The film was shot primarily in India. There was only a few things that were outside of country. It cost about $72 million to make, and every single dollar is on the screen. Now, one of the things that they will display if you're watching it on Netflix is the fact that no animals were hurt or even utilized aside from a horse in this film. And you can see the CGI there. Is it bad? No. Is it great? No. But it's completely irrelevant. The CGI that is there, that isn't the animals, is impressive and very well done. This is one of the most cinematically gorgeous film you've seen since Avatar. The music is brilliant, even the musical numbers, and I like musicals, unlike some people. I think they're very, very well done. The songs are well written, it adds to the story, and you can maybe skip by them, but I wouldn't suggest it. There's a lot here. You're introduced to this beautiful concept of friendship, and then betrayal, and then redemption, and then glory. The film will break your heart at points. It will have you standing on your feet applauding at points, and at no point will you be bored, which is interesting. You would expect in a film this long that there would be a period of time that you would need to, take a nap, but no. You will want to take a break, and I agree with Chris Gore when he says that. About halfway through the film, and you'll feel out the spot for yourself, you probably want to get up and stretch your legs, grab a snack, and get right back to it. But if you don't take a break, it may not matter because you may be so fully engaged that by the time you get to the end of it, you didn't realize how much time had passed. The two primary characters in this film are brilliant, and they are very, very solid, toxic, masculine role models, for lack of a better way to describe them. And the ladies are still powerful, strong, and feminine, which seems to be absent from Hollywood movies these days. You have Raju and Bheem, your two primary characters. I really enjoyed the performance of the actor that played Bheem, but you will find yourself, for the most part, cheering for Raju all the time. He's amazing. Raju is the take no prisoners style action hero that, again, is reminiscent of someone like Indiana Jones. And Bheem, well, Bheem is more of the spiritual, thoughtful philosopher that is forced into action despite his more gentle nature. There's romance in it for sure, which is why it appeals to women also, but that doesn't make it unappealing to men. Romance elements are an added touch, and they remind us that we exist in a yin-yang planet, a situation where we have balance on both sides when it comes to relationships. And let me tell you, there are some solid relationships in this film as well. The stunt scenes are incredible, and there are a lot of them. And of course, the idea around India having some form of independence is all kind of tied into this story. And I'm not going to ruin it for you, I'm just going to encourage you to see it. There are motor cars and motorcycles, there are horses, and there are lots of wild animals. The beginning of the film, you won't understand what's going on with Bheem's character until about halfway to 3/4 of the way through the film. And then you get it. You find out about 2/3 through the film that both of these men have been working for the betterment of their people, the people that they made promises to. In order to achieve their ends, they believe that they have to fulfill those promises. But ultimately, they discover that the betrayal of one thing may not be worth the other thing. You'll see what I mean when you watch the film. With that, I'm going to give you my version of a rating. I don't use numbers anymore, I just use stars, right? I guess that is a form of numbers. But I'm giving this 4.5 stars. It's nearly perfect. I think the 1 out of 5 scale is the better way to go. And when I was looking at it on a 10-point scale, I felt like it gave me too much wiggle room. So 4.5 stars for RRR. You might find it's worth 5. I've heard it. I can believe it. I've seen it. I understand it. You should check out this film. RRR, currently on streaming, or if you're lucky, in some areas, still in theaters. So that's it for this movie review here on the channel today. Be sure to check out other independent creators here on the platform, especially amazing people like Chris Score, Nick Weiser, and several other folks that have also done reviews on the film. They certainly deserve the engagement, and they probably have a slightly more nuanced take than I do. They probably are better with the vocabulary or their emotional delivery, and I couldn't think of two better channels to go and support and subscribe to. With that being said, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.